Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in on this wonderful Wednesday evening. I have Movie Club number 13 coming up tonight, in which I cannot believe that I still have people that want to join in and talk to me about movies. And I've just been loving this, digging into the community, finding people to talk to, whether I've known them through the chats and get to know them better, or, first time meetups and get to know them a little bit better and, talk about a movie for the evening. So right off the bat, thank you everybody, whoever's joining in tonight. And I'm not going to waste any time here. I'm going to go ahead, and if they're all set to go, I'm going to bring my guests out tonight, because you'll have a lot more fun talking to them, I think, than me. So we're going to get them out here, but we got Evol and Lady Evol. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Hello.
How are we doing this evening?
Listen, can't complain.
We're doing well.
Can't complain. Can't complain.
We're not working. We're talking about movies, and hanging out with people that want to do the same thing. So
exactly.
it can't be too bad, right?
we're with the folks. We're with the like-minded.
Yeah,
that's right. Exactly.
I love your intro, by the way.
Was the before or me actually talking?
It looks like the sun.
Oh, the sunset. Yeah.
Like I was like, it made me feel right calm before this interview.
Well, I thought, it was a little bit calming for me too, because when I first started doing this, I just did that countdown right off the bat, and I'm still new to this. We were talking backstage a little bit before we started here, and that countdown, the first time, or probably every time now still, like, I'm like, oh, this is cool, I got this. And then that countdown starts going, and you hear that little song that goes along with it, and I get nervous as it gets down to the last couple seconds. And I don't know, the little soothing music and the little sunset, like, oh, we're going to start soon. The little notification goes out to people. I can just take a breath, take another drink of water or tea here, and get set to go. So no, that's the way I got to do it. That's my little crutch, I guess, but
I dig it. I can dig it.
So right off the bat, I want to thank both of you for coming on the channel and doing this tonight. I know it's kind of different when I'm newer to your channel, and I've jumped in just a couple times on live streams, but I knew, like, right off the bat, you're, a couple I wanted to talk to more, and I thought it'd be fun to get to know better. And it's just kind of different when, I don't know, it's still internet and stuff, and you get people reaching out, and you're just like, okay, do I want to jump on here or not? So I appreciate you taking the chance, jumping out here, and seeing what's going on tonight. So
Oh yeah, I was excited. Like we were both excited. When we got the invitation. We see you in the comments. When we're going live. Checking us out. It's a beautiful thing. It's definitely a beautiful thing. And you interviewed a lot of people. That we are our compadres. So.
No, and that's always a comforting fact too. So like when I've gone onto some channels before, it's helpful when you have seen people that you've talked to before go on that channel too. And I can definitely see that. And we were talking a little bit before, but the first time I came across your channel was two really good friends. I've loved how many people I've gotten to meet through YouTube and this whole crazy thing. But Mika and Kira, love them to death. Yes. Like I cannot hang out and talk to them without having a smile on my face. They have so much positive energy. But the first time I came across your channel was them posting out like, hey, Evol and Lady Evol are going live tonight. You should check them out. And like I was saying, I have not had one bad movie recommendation from them. So I knew they wouldn't steer me wrong with people going out live on YouTube. So I'm so glad they did that. And that's what's awesome about a community like this, where, I know my channel is not going to get blasted on the YouTube algorithm, but when you have some great friends like that, they're just like, throw out a little Instagram post or throw out a little YouTube post and just say, hey, they're cool. They're worth checking out. Go see what they're doing tonight.
Listen, Mika and Kira are one of the life's blood of the Blue Tuber movie community, YouTube, internet, whatever. They are the life's blood. Double feature pod.
Yes. Yep. Shout out to them.
Absolutely. And I think I see them in here tonight. So I'll jump into the comments here just in a second, but no, it's awesome to have people do that. And then you share the love too, you try to, help promote people's channels as well when they're going out there. So, but Well, if you don't mind, maybe I'll do that real quick, and I'll just jump into the chat, see who's out here. I see we got some people joining us. So, like I said, I'm still a rookie with some of this, so I'm jumping through some of these. But we got, what's Johnny watching? Saying, "What's up, cool kids?"
Hey,
Johnny.
love the name.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Got Chris C, the slasher dude, saying what's up.
Yes.
Slash that like.
Hey,
These names, love it.
I know.
yeah, Holland
Hall
Oates,
and
one of the
Hall and
best
Oates.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've seen
Hey.
Hall and Oates.
yeah.
Love it.
He
love
is everywhere. So
Yeah.
we always joke around with him that he's like makes a live stream official if he jumps into it. So
Facts.
yep. Saying hi to each other. We got Monkey in here saying this looks like to be a good one. I'll sit on the like, and I'll like to sit while I watch. Okay, there we go. I'm good at saying things wrong too, so you can laugh at me because I'll. It's still a little bit for me to like keep track of the talking to you, the chat, and like clicking on things. So I'll mess up, but we'll get through it. Or I'll. We got John Doe Juggalo Jeff. How are we doing tonight?
Hello.
Juggalo.
So we got people saying hi. If I skip anybody, I apologize, but we'll just kind of run through some of these. I know what's fun about this, you start seeing people just saying hey to each other, or you got the community,
Yeah.
just like a hangout. You're
Yes.
hanging out and saying hi to each other. But we'll like run through here real quick and see. I'm always good at falling behind on these too.
I like that cinephile sanity.
Yeah.
Love
Hey,
it.
Sean. Hey, Sean, how we doing tonight? So that's the thing, and I probably throw people off too, where you have your like channel name and then your name, and then we were talking about that earlier too. It's like, well, which do you want to be called? And I'm like, well, I'll answer to either one. It's fine. And I always joke around that I came up with my channel name way before I actually did anything, and maybe if I would have waited and thought about it more, I would have done something different. But that's what I got now, so I'm just gonna run with it. I figure it could be worse. So.
At least it's not those old Yahoo, Yahoo email names that we.
Oh, I loved my Yahoo name.
Yeah, Yahoo or MySpace or any of those fun things.
Yeah.
But some people were
AOL.
yep. Some people were passing around. What was your MySpace page song? If you ever remember that when MySpace first came on, you could like put a song on your page, so when people came to it, the song would play. And I forgot all about that. And it made me laugh because I was like, I probably had something cringy that I'd go back and listen to and be like, oh, why did I have that one on there?
I used to troll people on my MySpace page, and then people would go to class. They'd be like, "Who's Soldier?" Blah blah blah, and I would just sit in the corner of the class, snickering.
I have no idea who that is, and it's you.
I couldn't remember my song. I couldn't remember my song from MySpace, but I do remember the song. When you log into AOL, it played like 1 second of a song, and mine was Lil' Kim.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll dig into that too. So that's one thing. Part of the name of my channel here. I love movies and music. You can get me talking probably forever, and you'll have to tell me to shut up, to stop talking about it. So if you love music too, maybe we'll dive into that a little bit tonight if you're feeling like it. So we'll just kind of go from there. But, all right. Got Tiana in here saying, hey, everybody.
Hey.
Tiana.
So I always love this. So sorry, just deal with me for just a little bit running through here, but it's always fun to just say, Collector Move Man saying hi.
Yeah, we love the community.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Saying hi to each other. Oh, here we go.
Hey.
Here we go. Yes, so we got, hey, Corey. So awesome to see Tyrone and Gillis out up there. Two of our faves.
We love y'all.
Yes, the twins. The twins. Yep. They're the best. They're the best.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, I need to have them like on a speed dial. So when I'm having a bad day, I can just call them because I know they like anytime I've hung out with them on a live stream or even in chats, it's like, it's hard not to like have a smile on your face because they throw that positive energy out there.
Yes, they do.
I love it. So Mika and Kira, just in case, if you start getting weird messages from me, be like, hey, can you cheer me up? I'll just, I won't try to do that too often. Jane Doe Latte. Hello, Mom. How we doing? Hello, everyone. She's a good friend of mine out here on YouTube. So we lovingly call her Mom, even though it's not my mom. So, except I felt bad because I don't think she's like too far off of my age, and I'm calling her Mom, and I'm like, I'm not. I hope that doesn't. I hope she doesn't feel like I'm calling her old or something like that.
Listen. It's all love. It's all love.
Yeah.
Yep. I grew up in a very small rural community, and my mom was a teacher in the small school that we were in, and all of our friends, she was mom as well. So it was kind of funny when she started substituting actually into our classes, and somebody that didn't know the situation would be around there. And all of a sudden she'd have like 17 different kids walk by and say, "Hey, Mom." And then they're like, "How many kids do you have?" You know, all these kids are calling you Mom. Oh, she did. Yep. She's awesome. It's always great to have a good mom in the mix, but saying hi to each other. So sorry, we'll flip through.
Yeah, I love this.
I know, I do too. That's where I hope, like I said, I don't want to put our conversation off too long, but it's always fun to kind of run down through some of these. And like I said, I'm still working at doing it a little more efficiently. But Tony, how are we doing tonight? Good evening. Basement Blues.
Basement Blues. Love the
name. Yeah, the names.
That is a man with a collection that I will never ever have. He's a collector's collector. He's got some stuff out there. It's always fun to see
other. Just take me back.
Yeah.
Some people especially you go down to the basement and it's just like, it's a dream.
I know. You walk down there and your eyes just open up and you're just like, wow. Like, no, I got my little corner. I don't have a whole basement, but
that's too, you know. Little shelf. Got a little shelf over there.
But that's all right. You can love movies, and like I have some great friends that absolutely love movies, but they don't have one physical movie in their house. You know, they're just all streaming or out to the theater. And that's when I was talking with a couple other friends earlier about this. It doesn't have to be one or the other, or, you know, if you like one, you hate the other, you know, physical media or streaming, you can enjoy both of them or one or the other. It just what works for you, you know, in your situation. And some it's just economics too. I mean, there's only so much you can buy. And sometimes if you have some streaming services and you're like, I'm already paying for the streaming service, and there's more movies even out there than I could probably even watch through. It's good to take advantage of that.
True, but I'm always still going to be like, I'm going to love the physical copies.
Oh yeah.
With books, movies, and music, and I guess my number one excuse is, what if this is that episode of The Twilight Zone where the guy is in the bank and it's the end of the world? And let's just say, you know, electricity is still working. Yeah. I'm going to need the physical copy of these movies and these books and this music, or a zombie apocalypse. Like, I need to be entertained if I'm in Cloverfield Lane. Like,
I love that. No, I love that. No, absolutely. I'm right there too. Or if like some month you just decide, you know, I'm not using these streaming services, I'm going to shut them off for a month or whatever, however long. And I still got movies sitting here. Either I haven't watched yet, or I don't mind watching again. You always have those favorites that you can go back to and, you know, hit again. We got, here, we'll see here. Paul Draws, hi.
Hey, Paul Draws. It's always a pleasure seeing you in the comment section.
Oh, that's awesome. See, I love this too. So that's a newer name to me. So I'm assuming that somebody drops into your stream. So welcome. We appreciate you dropping in.
They come with the jokes.
top 10 names.
Prepare.
Okay. Okay. We'll do that. And oh man, I'm already falling behind here. I love this though. It's so many people like jumping in here, but I have some sarcastic people that jump in too, but I love it. You know, they like to have some fun. But we got Laren in here. Thank you, sir, for dropping in. Everybody's saying hi to each other. I'll try to run through those real quick, just the highs back and forth. But we got Jimmy, Scottish Geek Guy. Howdy, folks. Hello, sir.
Hi.
That's a good. So, like I said, yeah, this whole crazy thing. He's actually from Scotland, so he's probably early morning hours right now. But That's where.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So it's whoever would have guessed. I know I'm old. I know I look like way. I'm not asking ages, but I look way older than the two of you. But I just remember a long time before internet, and just who would ever guess that you could be like, well, even just the three of us sitting here talking about movies on video, let alone having somebody, across the pond checking out the video as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we told our age when we brought up MySpace and AOL.
We kind of showed our hand a little bit there, a little bit. So that's all right. That's all right. I skipped one here. Kira is in here. Hello, Kira. We were just talking about you and Mika not too long ago, and all good things. Got Holland saying hi. All right, we'll throw some. If I skip anybody, please believe me, I am not on purpose, but we'll kind of run through some of these, and we'll stop back in later, but so we can get talking a little bit too. But Tony's just saying glad to see everybody out here tonight. Oh, here's my other buddy across the pond. So Gizmo saying, I'm not here, Corey, just so you know, never was and never will be. So you're talking about your friend with the jokes. This is one of mine that will throw it out there too. My buddy from Norway. So he's another early morning hour guy too. So
Thank you.
That's the thing, watching some of these. I've tried to do some streams earlier, even just for fun, for people that, not that I have a ton of people like in different time zones like that, but it's amazing how supportive some people are that are like 6 hours different than us. And they'll still jump into the live streams and the chats and say, hey. So I'm like, I'd be asleep on the couch by that point.
About.
Yeah.
It's about awesome. joining the live or, watching the replay. That's what it's about, showing the love.
And that's the thing too. It's just as cool checking out the replay, it's because not everything works out at the same time. So
thanks, Cinephile. Thank
you.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I go too farther, that's one thing I always forget to do too soon on here. Would you please, and whether you want to or not, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but would you mind doing like a little plug where people can find you on the socials? And that's one thing I think that I would get a kick out of. Nothing else is somebody going and checking your channel out and finding out that you're as awesome as I think you are. And, giving a follow and watching the stream. So would you mind like throwing out just a little bit, like where people can find you?
Oh yeah. You can find us on Evol Live, on YouTube. You can find us on social media as well. If you want to check me out, it's the Evol, EVOL, Tyrone. On Twitter /X, whatever you like to call it, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the things that the kids are on, and everything in between. And Lady Evol.
And for me, you can find me on Instagram at I am Jaleesa Taylor. Under the bio, it should say Lady Evol. I also have a Threads and a Twitter. It should say @SuTheSmooth. I am not changing that, y'all. I'm not changing it. But I'm going to hook it up. It was Sue the Smooth for life. Okay. But yes, you can also find me at the same link of YouTube, the Evols for the Evils, Lady Evol and the Evil Tyrone. Holla at us.
Yes.
I love that. And I'm going to get into the names in just a little bit too, because I want to hear if there's any backstory on that, or if it was just like, we thought it was cool. So, and it's fine either way. I'm just curious, but just run through more. We got Cal L Daly in here. The Wilk. What up, buddy? Cal. He's awesome. It's just, there's so many people when you just go down through, you just keep on repeating like awesome supporter. And he's definitely one of them. Saying hi to each other. Okay, people, like I said, I don't mean to skip by any, but we'll kind of cruise through a few of these more and see what's going on. Saying hi to each other still. I'm bad at keeping up with everything, so Evil is coming up 300. Yeah, I did see that. You're not too far off of that. So
we'll fight in the shade.
that's where I would love if we could get you there. If we could get you there, I would get such a kick out of that. Let's get them to 300.
Listen,
Yes.
thank y'all. That's love. That's love.
The thing I would say to make sure it sticks, because I see weird things on YouTube. If you like go sub up real quick and don't do anything, sometimes it comes off. So what I would say, everybody that's watching this on replay or right now, my ask, and it's not a huge one, like go out, sub to the channel and check out one of their videos and then throw a comment on there. Just be like, hey, yeah, that was cool. Or, anything, a movie they talked about, anything. So I would say, throw a like on their channel, watch a video, and just throw a quick comment out there. Let them know you were there, that you saw something. And sometimes YouTube takes a couple little steps before they let that stick, and I've seen weird things where things get taken off. So definitely worthwhile. So hopefully we can get there. I'd love that. I'd love to see the 300 there. That's such an awesome number too. Like you got to be pretty excited about that. Like to be that close to it. I mean,
listen, it's a beautiful thing. Just even seeing 10 people, checking us out and what we do. It's like, if we had 10 people in a room looking at us, just yapping away about movies, that's a blessing right there.
I completely agree with you. That's where I'm like, if I had one person in here, like I'm not going to be upset about that, because it's if I go out and I have one friend hang out with me, I'm not going to be like, oh, I only have one friend out here talking to me tonight. You're going to be like, enjoy their company, hang out with them, have a great time. It doesn't matter if it's one or if it's 20 or whatever. You just enjoy having that out there. So I'm just still thrilled when I reach out to people like you and you're like, oh yeah, I'll come on your show. And I'm just like, really? It's like,
we are always down to talk film.
Yeah. It's fun. I love finding other people that have that interest too and want to talk about it. So got Mika saying, yes, definitely subscribe. Awesome channel. Yes, they have an awesome channel. Oh, we got Tony subbed. Yeah. So we got,
yes, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep. And Johnny just subbed as well. So
Thank you.
Cool. But that's what I was going to say. Just don't do that. That's a great step. And I don't mean to ask too much, but like, please go sub to them, check out at least one video, find something to comment, give them a real comment on there. Like really check out the video and throw a comment out to them. And I know then the sub sticks to it. So we would definitely want to do that.
Yes, we appreciate it all.
Yeah.
We appreciate it all.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's fun. Like we were saying, smaller channels, sometimes it's just hard to find them. There's a lot of us out there, and I know like my channel isn't on the forefront of YouTube algorithm. So it takes the community to be like, hey, check them out. And you might find your next favorite channel, just being able to go out and do that. So, Collector Movie Man was saying, hey, Corey, I would definitely like to do a Q&A with you soon on the movie club. Oh, well, we'll have to take a look at that. So
hey.
It's always fun talking with people on these things. Laren saying you're a pro at this point, Wilk. I appreciate you thinking that, Laren. I think differently each time I do it. I don't know. We'll see.
Listen. Don't let the imposter syndrome get you, man. You're a pro. You're a pro. Look at all this love you're getting. You're a pro.
We'll get that. I think you're bringing in all the love tonight. So it's like people love seeing, other people out in the community. So that's where, and I feed off that too. I enjoy it as well. So it's great to see it. Texas saying, hey, Corey and everyone. Hello, panel guests.
Hello.
Saying hi to Texas. Johnny was saying it took us forever to get Corey to finally start the channel.
Emphasis on the forever.
Yeah. So, well, I'll ask you both that. When you started your channel, was it just like, we're going to do it and you jumped into it? Or did you have the idea and sit on it for a while? Or how did that come about for both of you?
You know what? I have always had like an idea to do a podcast, and me and her were bouncing around with ideas, and we sat on it for a little while, and then I was like, you know what? She decided to do her own thing. I decided to do my own thing, and then I started to interview people, and I was like, let me just interview folks, and I found like the people that I would interview in the horror community, I had the best time. So I ended up just like, let me just make my channel horror centered, just started interviewing more people in horror community, started having discussions. And now, my lovely co-host has joined me, in the festivities, in the discussions and stuff like that, joining in with the fun. So yeah, it's been a fun ride. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, we actually when he started doing interviews, I was also doing interviews. I was doing interviews on Instagram. I had a small business, hence the Soothe and Smooth name. I was selling body oils, body butters, and I was interviewing small business owners, and just kind of just like you, Corey, just trying to meet more people and network, but through the internet, especially around like after the Panda Express that happened in 2020. So we were all at home on lockdown, and I started that business, and a lot of people were just like me. So it started with that, and then he was interviewing people, and I noticed that he did enjoy the people he was finding in the horror community. So I was watching his interviews and he was watching my interviews, and we were talking about doing a podcast together for a long time. It was at first going to be about movies. Yeah, it was going to be about movies at first. So we were doing our own thing, and then we came together way later on.
So, that's cool. I always like, especially couples. I love hearing the story of like how it all happened, like right off the bat so that's kind of cool. You both were doing your own things and you're like, hey, let's come together and, do this thing together, enjoy it together. And it's cool to have that joy of it. So you have that centered around horror movies. Did you both love horror movies growing up and like getting into it? Or is it something you grew into, or one influenced the other, or?
So we're both,
Oh no.
we're both horror fans. We both love the genre and all the surrounding subgenres. I think and it's fun because like I love more like demons and possessions and stuff like that, and she loves the psychological aspects of a lot of things. And I can watch a film and I can digest it and I'll be like, this is what this film is about. Then I'll watch it with her, and she'll completely change my mind. And I'm like, oh, this is what she's the brains. She's the brains of the cinema watching experience for me.
I like to think I'm the emo one. You're the brains, or are you the emo one?
I will tell you how I feel. So that's
no lie on this podcast.
You will break it down. You'll be like, actually, this symbolizes that from this minute over here.
But from emotional intelligence. Remember when you showed me the Babadook? And I was like, oh, this is about grief. Like, I was so emotional about it.
I hated the Babadook when I first saw it. I was like, this movie is horrible. And then I watched it with her, and she explained. I was like, oh, this movie is genius. Now I like it.
I think we're both brains and emo. I think that's what it is.
Emo in the brains.
We're emo in the brains.
That's awesome. But no, that's great that and like you said, there's like so many different like subgenres of horror movies. So it's easy to just say horror, but there's a lot of different little subgenres within there. And I'll have to say this. I've watched horror movies my whole life, but I wouldn't say that was my main genre that I would gravitate towards. But I've grown into it more and more over the years and found more things that I liked, even older movies, like going back and watching them. But I'd have to say the horror community that I've ran into anyway on YouTube has been some of the most welcoming and helpful people that I've ran into, where it's almost like, yeah, I want to share this with you. Come in here. I don't care if you know too much about it. Like, it's okay. I want to share it with you, and I want you to learn about it and, enjoy it just as much as I do. And it's a really cool feeling to have that, have people welcome you in, not shame you for like not knowing as much as them, but just like, no. I remember where I started too. Here, come in here, check these out, and start throwing recommendations out to you.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what were your main genres that you would normally put on? Like you would see the advertisement, you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna watch this.
So I always feel bad because like people are like, oh, you're taking the easy way out, Corey. But I'm such a mood watcher, and I gotta be in the right mood. And I'm scattered too. I'll admit that, and I am kind of all over the place. So it really depends on the mood I'm in that I can watch. So I'll admit that I wasn't like a huge horror fan my whole life, but I watched them throughout the years and enjoyed them, but have grown into it more. But it depends on my life. Young Corey, like 80s, 90s, it was action, sci-fi, just blockbusters.
Yeah.
I loved that. I would have fun with those no matter what. Now I still enjoy those, but I've dug into more horror, and then I should say international films, and have found so many things that once I got over my little stumbling block of subtitles, and now I'm good with it. But I don't know if everybody has that point where it's just like, oh, I don't want subtitles, but then you get to the point where like, oh, it's better with them. There's been so many international films that I've enjoyed seeing, just because it seems like you run into a lot of different storytelling approaches and themes, and it's just refreshing to have something different and new to watch. But so I'm all over. But yeah, growing up, I'd say sci-fi, action. Oh, and then westerns. My with my dad. So grew up on a farm out in the country, so you got to have some westerns in there. So
Yeah.
you can take what they always joke about. You take the guy out of the redneck, but you can't take the redneck out of the guy, kind of a thing. So, but it's always got a little bit there. So I grew up with horses in my family, and they all do that. And we always joke, even within my family, where I kind of ventured off. I love coming back and enjoying that time with them, riding horses, things like that. But we always joke, it's like I'm either the smart one or the oddball one to not go down that path. So we don't have the expenses of it. We just go back and let our kids enjoy it at their place. So
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. However you digest it, it's beautiful.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, Scottish guys in MySpace Bebo, and I still have my original Hotmail from the late 90s. That's awesome.
I do too. I still have MSN.
That is awesome. That's awesome. You still got those things.
I don't know the password though.
That's going to be the problem. That'd be the problem, getting back into the thing. But all right, we got some people saying hi back and forth. Miko was saying we will have to do a stream, Corey, going over some of our favorite music. Yeah, absolutely. Woo! So I came up with the name of my channel way before I started actually doing something, and I will still talk on it. I lean way more into movies, but it's some of my friends, like we say, we have the sarcastic ones or the ones that make the jokes, and I always have the ones that kind of poke at me a little bit. It's like, okay, Corey, music's in your name. When are you going to actually talk about music? And you just, I don't know. I threw it out there a long time ago, and I figured that's what I'd run with for right now.
Yes.
We love you, Kira, saying you love. I'm sure she's talking to you too, so we love you guys.
The love is in the air.
Talking about all three of us.
I know she is. I know she is. I'm just giving her a time. Always available from Cheer. Oh, okay. What do we got? We got Mika and Kira on speed dial to cheer up our days. So that's okay, Corey. We don't mind sharing the positive vibes. Oh, and you have plenty of it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes, Laren, we'll have to keep you in mind if you're down. Yep, probably doing some streams. See how always people do it. Okay, here we go. Let's see what Gizmo has for me this time. Saying, hey, everybody. Sorry, I was scratching my dog, so I did not see your messages. I will have the stream from the communist channel in the background when I'm fixing my nails on the call. Yep. I don't know. He's on a kick lately, like throwing out the. He loves to give me a hard time. If you ever see Gizmo, if you ever see that name out in chat, if you want to get him riled up, just say your favorite character of a movie is Rose from Titanic, and you'll get him going like crazy. He's team hashtag there was room on the door.
Wait,
I am too.
I think
No excuses.
I mean, Rose was the real villain.
But she wasn't the real villain. That iceberg was.
Right, but you get him going. We had some. It's funny when you start getting. Well, I had some late night chats with him, and he's like, "That Rose." It's funny you get in there, but yeah, he's like, she could have rolled over something. Give a little room on there.
There was room. There was room on that door.
Miko saying can't wait to see what movie picks you've chosen. So yeah, we'll eventually get to that. I've been told I take too long to get around to the movie for tonight, but like I said, this is my guilty excuse to be able to reach out and talk to people out in the community a little bit more. So all right, we'll fly through some of these here because people are just saying hi. We got Movie Collector Maniac saying hello, Corey and guests in chat. Thanks for joining in here.
Hi.
He's a maniac.
Yeah, I know. So I've been doing this a little bit lately. Not that I'm like completely original with it, but I was like posting movies and like coming up with songs. For whatever reason, I think of the two together. And sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I could see that. That's logical. And other times it's like more sarcastic. You know, like you could throw out, what did I do today? Dog Soldiers. Seen Dog Soldiers. And then I did, the song was Howlin' for You by the Black Keys, you know, like, but I was like going back and forth between Howlin' for You or Hungry Like a Wolf by Duran Duran. So, you know, it's like sometimes just being sarcastic, but that's an old song, 80s. That's probably like too early for you.
Oh, we love the 80s.
No.
Okay. I just thought you had to look. I thought you had to look for a second, like Duran Duran.
Listen, because of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I love and I'm hungry like the wolf.
Yep.
It's amazing.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you could play the game and just flip through the channels and get all that stuff there. But that is funny. All right. Yeah. Just talking about his being funny. But Jamie was saying I have a ridiculous amount of still sealed Blu-rays and 4Ks. I think it's a common problem for collectors. Do you run into that much with what you have at home?
You know what? 9 times out of 10, I pop the seal when I bring it home. You know, I pop the seal and just to look in it because I found, especially lately, you know, buying from certain places like eBay, they will use up that digital code on you with the quickness, you know, or sometimes, you know, they may skip out on the disc, you know, altogether. So I gotta pop it, make sure, because I remember one day I didn't open up a DVD for like 5 years, and then when I finally opened it up, there was nothing in there, and it was The Departed, and I'm like, what the hell? It's Departed right now.
It departed.
Yeah, exactly. I did I had that not too long ago where I bought was it Unbroken? I think that was the movie. World War II. Anyway, it was supposed to have Blu-ray and DVD in there, and I sat on it for a long time, and I finally opened it up, and the DVD was there, but the Blu-ray was not in there, and it was like way out of. I'm like, oh, there we go. So, I'm with you. Unless I'm buying it brand new, you got to break that thing open, and especially with some of them that have the digital codes, whether you want it or give it away to somebody or whatever. They're only good for a certain amount of time usually, so you don't want to do something with them. But
yeah, shout out to the jerk who used my digital code of the blackening on, you know, whatever before I bought it. But shout out to you, jerk.
Oh, that's not right.
Out of all movies.
Okay, so
Black people.
I have not seen the movie. Would you recommend that one? I've heard stuff about it, but
it's definitely a good time.
Okay, I'll put that on there. See, there's so many movies I have, so that's one of them on a long list of movies I want to watch sometime. But there's a lot of times I'll bump it a little bit higher when I'm like talking to somebody like, you know, both of you that were like, I've seen movies you've recommended, and I'm like, okay, I'm with it. And then, you know, if you're like, oh yeah, it's worth checking out, you know, it helps bump it up the list a little bit to check out. So I'll have to do that. I'll have to say hey to Dell on Movie, saying what's up.
Hey,
Dell, what's going on?
Dell's an awesome guy. Got a great channel going too. Miko saying yes, my AOL and MySpace. I remember the days. Yep. Man.
We're all the same age. We had the same fruit snacks, so
yeah.
That's funny. Paul Draws saying you're welcome. I always spending time with you guys and with my horrific pinfulness. That's great.
We enjoy you, Paul.
Paul Draws.
Paul Draws. I was having trouble saying that. And that was one thing too. I wish I would have come up with a different name for mine, because I think I even stumble on saying it, Wilkie's Movies and Music. And there's so many people that are just like, you know who I'm talking about, you know? It's like Paul Draws. I'm going to remember that name now if I see it. I hope I see you around here again too. Thanks for dropping in tonight. Texas saying, hey. Cal was saying, hey. Oh, we got Scottish Geek Guy subbed up to you guys. Yes. So, all right. That'd be the biggest, I don't know why, I'd get the biggest kick out of. It's well-deserved, so it's not like but it's just, I love seeing people coming out and like finding somebody new, and they know, once they see it, they're like, yeah, I'll enjoy this channel. It's hard just coming across not the real big channels and getting to see that. So no, that's awesome. Thanks, Jimmy. So, yeah, AIM and MySpace are basically where the history of my social media ended. Laren, he kind of cut off a lot of that stuff, and I think he's the smart guy out of the group. He doesn't he does YouTube, I know, but I don't think a lot of other, not a lot of other social media. Almost at 300 subscribe. Great content. Oh, do we need to do like a live update? We need to like take a look and like see. I'll say right off the bat, I don't get too hung up on it, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't go out and take a look every once in a while to see where I'm at. And does that bother you too much? You know, like where you're at with subscribers or anything, or you're just kind of like, hey, I'm having fun. Let's just roll with it, and whatever happens, happens.
No, it's like whatever happens, happens. As long as we're having fun with the people we're chopping it up with, you know, like sometimes every once in a while, like someone will tell us, oh, you know, you're at this, you're at that. But, you know, for the most part, it's like after we get off live, it's that feeling, that high that we get from talking to, you know, some of our favorite folks, you know, some people that we now, you know, refer to as friend, you know, and it's like, oh, we met them on the internet, you know, so.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've been there too. It's kind of surreal when you're like, oh yeah, we've met through this, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh yeah, my good friend, you know, so-and-so. But yeah, so it's even funny, like for tonight. So when I start doing this, I have two kids, and they're older. One's out of the house, and she's going to be graduating high school this year. And so, so she's, so even tonight before this, a lot of times either my wife or my daughter, they'll be like, oh, who are you talking to tonight? You know, and hanging out with. So I was just talking with my daughter. So not embarrass you or anything like that, but I was like, oh, here, you know, I'm talking to another couple, and I get a kick out of it. I don't know why, but like when I have a couple on, it's kind of fun to see the dynamic and their enjoyment of the movies. And so my daughter was looking at it. I'm just going to say right now, I was supposed to tell you that she thought you're very pretty, and we'll have to pass that along. And I was trying to do it in a non-awkward way, but she honestly, she's like, "Ooh, you have to tell her she's very pretty." So there you go. You got that.
Tell her I said thank you.
You're welcome. But I was like, I'll try to do that in a way that's not like creeper or something, you know? So anyway, that was my daughter. So we'll just move on from there. But no, but it's kind of funny though. They're like, oh, who are you talking to tonight? You know? And I don't know. They've been very accepting with me doing this. It's kind of funny when you're like, I'm going to go back to the office and hang out and talk to a couple people from, you know, across the country and about movies for the night. So I'm going to fly through some of these real quick. I know I want to be respectful of the time here too, but that's one of the things I could just go through and just start chatting with everybody for a long time. So if I pass over somebody's comment, I apologize. I want to make sure I just hit whoever's coming in here, and then we have our conversation for tonight too. But we got 4K King saying, hey.
Hey.
Yes, 4K.
Oh, in love with horror. The Black
Hey,
Music
y'all.
Great Time. Yes. That's another couple I'm going to have on before too long.
I know.
Yes,
I saw it.
definitely should.
So another one where I just love running into new channels where I'm like, oh, I love it. And then the problem I run into is having enough time to watch all the content everybody's putting out, because it's great, but then it's just like, so do you ever run into this? I'll do it where, you know, I'm going to sit down and watch a movie for the night, but then I start seeing a couple notifications of all these people I'm following. And I'm like, well, my evening instead of a movie ends up being a bunch of YouTube content that people are putting out, but it's just as much. I have as much fun with that sometimes as watching a movie for the night. But
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes like it depends. Like, if I'm like, okay, somebody's going live, let me check out the live. We'll put it up on the big screen. But sometimes if we're dead set on watching something that night, or doing something that night, I'll open up the phone, put the YouTube on, look
Yep.
at it off to the side, be in the comments.
Yep. No, I'll do that all the time. I do that a lot. Dell was also chiming in saying blackening is fun. Okay.
Yes.
I got my little, I'm old school. I got my piece of paper and pen here. So
Listen, that's what it is. That's what it's about.
that
So it
one's
all
going
started
up the,
into the paper as a writer, and then pass it off to a director, and now we got these damn movies.
I wish I was that creative. I wish I could do more stuff like that, but I just come out here and bug people for a little bit on the YouTube channel. So we'll see, but everybody's saying hey to each other again. Whenever you guys mention AOL, the dial-up. Oh yeah.
Me too, Dell. And then your mom gets on the phone and she kicks you off. And you're like, oh, get off the phone, Mom.
Can't
Okay.
be on the phone at the same time.
Oh, I remember that so much. My dad would get mad because I was tying up the phone line, and then he'd kick me off, and then I'd get mad. But then where I lived, like I said, I was out kind of out in the country, and so I remember for a while you had to pay for minutes to be on AOL. Like how many you paid for how many minutes per month you could have, and on top of that, we were too far away from this dial-in number, so we had long distance charges on our phone on top of that. So man, you want to see a dad get mad? Who the heck is calling this town far away? So I'd have the AOL charges and then a long distance charge on top of that. So that's how old I am. So I just dated myself pretty good. So.
Well, be thankful you started your channel now and not back then.
Yeah. There would not have been a channel back then. My dad would have. He would have ended me probably. So you were saying round kick that like button. Thank you. We got Anthony in here saying smash that mother loving like button before Gizmo opens up a can. That's on you. Oh, yep. Like I said, they get a little squirrely, but we love them. We love them. Oh, a 4K King just subbed 301. Look at that.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank
y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
That's a challenge for the night though too. Not going to pass anything over doing the sub. I love it. Thank you so much for checking out the channel and subbing. But please, the only ask I'll have, if you find a little time in the next day or two, check out one of their videos on there. They have live streams. They have content out there. Check out some video on there and throw them a little comment. Something you took away from the video. And I know I get a kick out of getting that on my own. So yeah, please, that'll be my ask for tonight. Your challenge for the next couple days. Go out there, find a video, watch it, throw a comment out there for them.
Yes.
So we'll go through here. Anthony Soren Moore, how is my favorite top 100 superhero candy? They're, like I said, sometimes I don't even know what they're talking about, but they're having fun. And so we'll go through some of those. But all right, I'm getting kind of caught up. I know a lot of people are saying hi here to each other. So I'm going to put a pin in that one right now. So I know being respectful of time, and we're going to get to a movie, I promise. Everybody always wonders, they say I go way too much commenting, talking to people, but I love doing this, and we'll get to our movie here. But I know I went through a couple things already. We were talking about your collection, how you got into horror movies. One thing I'm going to ask is, if we don't find you sitting watching a movie, what's something you do to enjoy have fun, relax, anything besides watching a movie? Do you have anything that is a go-to that you enjoy doing, relaxing, anything?
Lots and lots of things.
Lots of things.
We both play video games.
All right.
He has his PS5 and PS4. I play the PS4 sometimes, but my current obsession is my Switch. And so we'll do that. I like to read. I love reading books, but I mostly listen to audibles because I like to multitask. What else? There's lots of things.
Oh yeah,
We go to the movies a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
When they go to the movies.
Okay, so do you have a preference of if you see a new movie, what would be your preference in a theater or at home at your setup that you have?
Theater.
Theater. Okay.
Yeah, I think theater, like pre-pandemic theater, but you know,
Yes.
I think matinee theater experience, because I don't have the patience for the foolishness sometimes. So I'm just like matinee experience. Definitely.
Dolby and the seat reclines
Yes.
and they bring my food.
It makes the movie better.
Yep.
Like I know a lot of people did not rock with the Nun 2, but the Nun 2 was amazing because of the Dolby experience. For me.
Oh yeah.
And the seat warmers when you're cold.
Yes.
I don't, that's the unfortunate thing. We had so many theaters closed down. So I only have a couple options around me right now. And one of them almost seems to be the only option for me because they are the only ones that have like the leather reclining seats and you got all the leg room that you want. The other one's the old school where your knees, I'm not even that tall, but your knees are pretty much hitting the seats in front of you. And I'm like, I can't even do it anymore. But that Dolby experience, I was just in a movie last night. I caught myself like jumping a couple times and then I'm looking around like, did anybody like just see me do that? Like, but it was so loud and you could feel it that I was like, I'm not embarrassed to say I had a couple little jump scares every once in a while. And I don't even know if it was supposed to be, but it just was a loud, like, so I went to Civil War last night was the movie that I went and saw. And there was just a couple shots fired, we'll just say out of the blue that it caught me off guard. And I kind of felt that. So do you have anything on your list right now that's going to be coming out in the theater or out right now that you really want to get out and see? And if you don't, that's fine too.
I want to see Beetlejuice.
Oh,
Beetlejuice is definitely up there. I still have yet to see Monkey Man. You know,
I want to see that.
Check that one out.
I want to see that.
And what's the new Strangers? Definitely want to check that out.
Oh Lord. And Cuckoo. I want to see that one.
Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a stream with another couple gentlemen that I got to watch some movies to talk about. So one of them is coming out this Friday, and I'm kind of wondering about it. We'll see how it goes. But is Abigail? Have you seen anything about that? That the little girl vampire?
I've heard some great things. People who I know have seen it. They said it was amazing. So I'm definitely hyped about that.
I want to see that.
I am hoping it is. I saw a trailer and I'm like, okay, it could go a couple different ways. And so I'm hoping it's going to be a fun one. So I'm trying to get out in the theater a little bit more this year. I haven't much. I always enjoyed doing that, but it just seemed like post-pandemic, I just haven't gotten back out. I don't know if I just got too lazy. You know, it's too easy just to sit at home and stream or, buy a movie and throw it in, and haven't done that. But yeah, so Abigail will be coming up. I just saw Civil War, and then not too long ago I saw Late Night with the Devil.
Ooh.
And have you seen that one yet?
No, I know it comes out on Shudder on Friday, so I definitely plan on checking that out.
I would say, and I actually want to watch it again at home because it's different how it's shot. I mean, it's like a 70s TV talk show. So I think it might have a different feel actually being at home watching it. So I'm looking forward to, I'll watch it again. It's a lower budget. So just going in that with that in your mind. And I was pleasantly surprised. We'll say that. I had a good time. I had a good time with it.
A lot of people love that one. They, it was good. They said they had a great experience with it.
Yeah, I kept hearing good things about it. So I definitely can't wait to see it.
Yeah. It was a very short release where I'm at. And then when I decided I wanted to go see it after hearing people talking about it, I only had a couple nights to choose from. So I went, it was a Monday night, the last showing of the night. I was literally the only person sitting in the theater to watch it. So question for you. I came home. I told my daughter, only person in there, like literally the only person in this theater for this horror movie. And she's like, no, she goes, I would have been out of there. What do you think? Do you think that would add to it, or you wouldn't care, or you're like, no, I'm not watching a horror movie by myself all alone in a big theater?
I would not care. It's just big even in that theater.
Well,
it adds to the experience. I saw
Yeah.
Insidious in the theater by myself matinee, and it added to the experience. So I definitely think that people should definitely try it out. That's why I'm always pro matinee, especially on the weekday.
Yeah. I agree. I think it got me a little more creeped out a little bit. I'll admit that, but I think it added to it. Then I was like kind of getting, maybe some of the
Exactly.
things in the movie were, creeping me out a little bit more than usual. And like you were saying, I didn't have anybody on their cell phone. I didn't have anybody yelling, running around. It was just quiet and I could watch it. So it was pretty cool experience with that.
Yes. Yes.
So I know we've been talking for a little while. I appreciate you dealing with me, going through all this, but tonight we did have a movie we were going to talk about as well that you threw out there, and it was Midnight that you picked out. And so when we get into like too heavy, I'll throw a little banner on here for people, like to say little spoiler alert when we get really deep into it. But I'll say right off the bat, this movie I had not run across before. I had not heard before you threw that out there, but I'm glad you did. So how did you come across it?
You know what? It was the real queen of horror, Xena. She had actually mentioned it on one of her videos. Shout out to Xena, and she had said that it was a great time. So I always had it on like my watch list. We all, especially us in the movie community, we've got all these movies on our watch list. So one day I just sat down. I'm like, let me check this out. Was floored, loved it. Then I was like, I gotta show it to Jaleesa, gotta show it to Lady, and she ended up, like how was your first experience with it?
Okay, so I know it's a thriller, but there were just certain parts. So something to know about me, Corey.
Yeah.
He, like he said earlier, he'll watch a movie and then he'll watch it with me, and I'll look at the movie from a totally different view. So there were certain parts where, like, he might see the film and go, "Oh, like, then he'll show it to me, and I might start laughing at certain parts. So this film, for me, when I saw this, I was like laughing at certain parts, just
Okay.
just the entire scenery. I'm like, he's in a van, like, oh, he had time to put up those LED lights just to make it. Oh, he had to make it comfortable during his crusade. Like, he's
like,
a real psychopath.
he goes, I'm a psychopath, but I got to set the scene. I got to put the lights on.
I'm a psychopath, but I'm a millennial. I gotta.
Yeah. It's going to look good though. Okay. I can see that definitely. And I'd love to dig in a little bit more too on the different scenes that made you laugh. So I'm curious on that, but I'll say before we're done talking, as long as we have time, there's like 3 scenes I want to hit on that really jumped out in my mind anyway. Or ones that made me ask a question, but so that's funny. So, okay. So first of all, you're like kind of laughed a little bit, like, okay, he's like really like doing up the van, for his little going around kidnapping and killing people basically. So
The first scene I laughed at was when he, basically the opening scene, the woman who was on the phone, and those kids, like those assholes, wouldn't let her get the taxi. And then he kind of pulls up in the van like, I could give you a ride. And she was like, no. And his face was like, he goes back in the van when he's like, help me.
Oh yeah.
Help me. And then he pokes his face when she gets closer to the van, and he pokes his face out like, help me. I died. I cracked up laughing, and then he grabbed her. Then it wasn't funny, but that part, it was the help me. And I was like, what in the Norman Bates is this?
Well, and that's where you got some thrillers or horror movies where you're just like, what are you doing? Run away. Like, why are you going to look? You creepy guy, creepy van, and then all of a sudden a creepy voice like saying, help me. It's like, run away. But so no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I do see in the comment section. It's on Tubi. Oh. It's also on Prime
and Peacock.
And Peacock.
Just read it back on Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. This is where we start talking about the movie, and I know. Oh wow, I fell way behind on the chat. So yeah, no, that's good. It is on Tubi. So there is a way to see it for free. It was also on, I actually saw it on Prime. It was
Yeah,
on
it's
Amazon Prime.
for a while. Yeah.
And then I also use quite a bit. I saw I think it was on there too, but it's called Canopy, with a K.
Ooh.
So I'll say this. I need to be sponsored by them, because I always like throw it out there, but it's worth checking out. It's called Canopy, but with a K instead of a C. But it's through public library systems. So if you have a library card, which is free to get, you have to look on their website, but it'll tell you what libraries are within the system. And it's just like checking out a movie from the library, and you get so many free ones per month. Each library is a little different, but they have an awesome selection of movies, and there's no commercials. And so, yeah, Canopy, you have to check that out.
Yeah.
I keep on preaching about that, and I want to send them an email and tell them that they need to like sponsor me or something, but, but I think it was on there as well. But in either case, there's ways to see it. And, but yeah, so like, not spoiler alert, I really enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun with it. And this is where we were talking about a little bit earlier, getting over the subtitle thing and finding a lot of movies that once you get over that little hurdle in your head, there's so many great movies to, go take a look at and see out there. So that was the channel. I was just trying to write it down too, but you said it was Xena, was that
the real Queen of Horror.
The Real Queen of Horror.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. This is where we're sharing the love again. I love getting not only recommendations about movies, but other channels out there putting stuff out. So I'm going to be I'll be checking that one out. So if you ever see me like looking, writing, it's usually like, oh, I heard a movie or a channel I want to write down and remember, because I have a bad memory sometimes, but,
Listen,
well, so cool.
It's all good.
So she threw that out there. We're watching through the movie. What were your initial impressions about it overall? I mean, we can dig into some scenes. There's definitely some I want to bring up and get your thoughts on, but, your overall, like, not to spoil right off the bat, but when you walked away from seeing this movie, how does it rank on your recommendations to people? Like, I mean, just overall, how'd you feel about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you middle of the road? What were your feelings?
I loved it. From the first time that I saw it, it kept me on the edge of my seat, so to speak, and on a different edge of my seat, because there's a lot of cardio in this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like it's cardio the movie. So it's definitely like in one of those adrenaline filled films, and the way that the story is told, through the characters, and especially one of the main characters, well, two of the main characters, being deaf, so it adds another element to it, so it gets a little crazy, it gets a little crazy, folks, but I highly recommend it. It's one of those ones where it doesn't even matter what you're into. I recommend it. It's just a great film overall.
Yeah, same here. I absolutely love this movie. It's a rewatch for me. I wouldn't mind getting a physical copy of this. The first time he showed it to me, I was like, wow. No, I really love this film. And I second that. No matter what genre you're into, this is a really good movie.
So I'm going to agree with you completely. So this was I can find a place where I can watch it streaming. And some people like give me a hard time. Some people are like pro physical media. Some are like pro like streaming. And then some people are like, hey, we can have a happy medium between these. So a movie like this, when we started talking about it, I'm like, okay, I have a place to watch this for free. I'm going to do that. So I'll say this. So after I've watched it, I've already ordered it and it's coming to me. So
Listen, we're here with it. It's in my Amazon cart. It's in my Amazon cart.
Because they actually had a really good price on it on Amazon too. It was, I can't remember what it was at, but it was pretty decent. But hey, I'm not against, so we've all been there before probably, where we bought a movie and then went back and we're like, I probably wish I wouldn't have bought that movie, so I'm never against streaming something first and finding out if it's something I'd rewatch. And then if I'd rewatch it, throw it in the cart and, bring it on home. But, so it sounds like we're all on the same page on that. I'm always playing around like how to go through the movies. I don't want to feel like you have to like reenact like the whole movie, but kind of hitting on some things and some scenes that we've had fun and like. So I might dive into a few things. So I'm going to throw this on there just so somebody doesn't get mad. I'll throw a ticker symbol thing on here that we're going into spoilers.
Yeah.
We're going deep. We can go into spoilers. People can mute it, come back a little bit later, but might hit on some things that will give some things away. But I'll let you say first. Are there any scenes that really jumped out at you that you want to talk about?
The police scene.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He was playing.
Well, almost like which one though? I almost want to like ask you which one.
The police station.
Okay. Yep.
It was so it was aggravating, but it was also like it was like it's him. It's like Lemony Snicket in a way. It's him. They just would not get it. But it was a great scene to watch, especially if you're a writer or you're just a great storyteller. Like, talk about tension building and the communication that just kept getting lost. And it's like, if you're not paying attention, for all you know, the person you're looking for is right in front of your face and underneath your nose playing the victim, but you're not paying attention to everything. You're not noticing, or you're not really picking up what other people are dropping. Basically, be careful with your surroundings. Pay attention to what people are telling you with their eyes, or what is it called? Nonverbal communication.
Yes.
Oh yeah, your body language. Yeah, what you're putting out there. And
it was really important. Like that, I love that scene. I know it was like annoying for some people, but it's because they knew the answer. You know, as the viewer, you knew the answer. You just want to say, "Look, it's him." You know, it feels like anxiety filled when they don't notice it, and you're like, oh, like there's about to be consequences because you're not paying attention. But I absolutely loved it. As a writer, a storyteller, I loved it. They built that scene so well.
I could definitely see that. Just my little throw in with that. I think it added another level of, I don't know if like creepiness or like the thriller aspect of it. But so we have the mother and the daughter that are deaf and are not able to speak. And so there's that verbal barrier between the police and them. And yeah, I can see where you're saying like some people might be frustrated with that, but I think it added to the suspense and the tension in there, where you're just like, you know what's going on, you know they're trying so hard to communicate, but there's just that barrier there. And I thought it added quite a bit to it.
Oh yeah. It definitely did. It definitely added to the depth, you know, because it's like a cat and mouse type thing, and it adds another layer to the villain, you know, because he's just not like, but it adds a little arrogance. It's like he's almost he's got an arrogance to him, you know.
That's the word I would say for him. Very arrogant, and he would play with his victims basically. Yes. And he would play the victim himself like throughout the movie, and a lot of times, and it drove me nuts because I was like, oh, you're such a, excuse my language, I was like, oh, you're such an ass. I'm like, oh my gosh, he was just like, he would throw those little twists in there where he's like going at something, and then he can just switch it like just a light switch and be all of a sudden whining and be like, oh, he's hurting me, you know. And I could see where that'd be so hard for the police in that situation where they don't know what's going on. And but no, he'd flip that switch so quickly on trying to act like a victim himself or going into like vicious like evil mode on people. And I thought he was a great villain in the movie.
He was top tier.
He was. I do feel like I was laughing a lot at how he was running. Maybe I'm I'm weird. I was just like, am I the only one that like finds the way he's running is funny? Like he's just like, and I'm like, how am I supposed to take him seriously?
It's like a tapping on the cement.
Yeah, like I don't know. It was hilarious to me. But definitely the way he would just run into his van and change it to his suit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was like he was a villain for real, but that's something superheroes do. They go and they change and then they become, you know, the hero, but he would go and change it to the victim when he was
He was villain turning into the victim with his little like
yeah.
quick, instead of a phone booth, he had a phone booth, but instead he had a van. No, for real though. Like he does that. Like, cause all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere and he's got the nice suit on and everything instead of the hat and the mask. And, then all of a sudden he's just like, but yeah, no, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, looking so innocent. And then he was the one who called the cops at the beginning. I was like, ooh.
Yep. There were so many little twists like that he would do that you'd be like, okay, that's where I'm like, with the way they wrote him is like, okay, this is not his first time doing this. And he's thought through so many different steps of, and I think this will come up later on one of the scenes I want to talk about where he gets really frustrated, but he's thought through so many of these things and he thinks he's outsmarting everybody, that he's so much more clever than everybody and they can't catch him. And so he gets like you were saying, he's arrogant with what he's gotten away with and what he feels like he's getting away with at that time. So no, that arrogant is a great word for him, but I think that makes for a great villain. I mean, most of them are, they've gotten away with things and they feel like they can just get away with whatever they want to do. So is there any scenes that you've jump out at you?
I think when she thought, you know, she got a little time to relax and, you know, a little time to breathe, and then he comes up behind her with the sledgehammer, the axe or whatever, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and we're you know,
In
the
their
audience,
house.
yeah, in the house, so we're just like, yo, like she can't hear, you know, this is so it's like it was just tension. It was a very very tense scene. You know, I loved it, and you know, just from that leading into another chase, which I'm like, the chases in this movie were just like insane. Even with the brother, you know, throwing the brother in the equation. You know, it's just fun. It was just fun.
So I'm going to get right back to that house though. But before I forget, with the police station scene, I love that where he comes in and the villain is like, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
And he just catches the knife and he's basically, I can't remember the line, but he basically like, you're messing with the wrong guy. You picked the wrong guy to mess with. And then that kind of threw me off a little bit. I loved seeing it, but there was the whole throwdown scene for a little bit. So this like a thriller kind of horror movie, and then all of a sudden you had an action like fight scene in that police station. But I loved seeing it. But that's where that villain, you could see in his eyes where he's just like, okay, he's used to obviously picking on maybe people he felt were weaker than him, and he hit somebody that was fighting back. But I'm going to touch on that sooner too, where I loved seeing somebody that he felt was weaker than him kind of turn the tables on him a little bit. And we'll get to that and just kind of go in order. But I know you know what I'm talking about, but there's the scene where I was just like, oh, okay. So, but then going back to the house, I loved, so we were talking about the mother and the daughter, kind of the victims that we're following a lot of times. We'll say victims, but like what he's going after, his prey in this situation. Throughout their house, they have different things, you know, to adapt to their living situation. So they had like lights throughout the house that would blink if there was noise, you know, so probably if they could tell if somebody's knocking at the door or, you know, something along those lines. And I think they played off that really well when he was coming and doing stuff, and you'd see the lights start flashing and they'd think like, oh, maybe it's this little toy that was making the noise. And then you'd see that going off. But then he comes in, and I thought that was super creepy. He's like dragging a axe behind him. She can't hear it, and she's trying to figure out what's setting off the lights. And then he goes and starts turning them off. But there was that one moment where she's sitting there she's starting to figure something's going on. And then she sees there was like a little toy that was like clapping cymbals together. So it's making all this noise, and she looks up and the light's it's not lighting up at all. And she's like, something's going on. That's where he comes after her. But I think that arrogance played into it too much, because he was like playing with it way too long if he was wanting to go after her. And I don't know. I loved how they were like mixing in some of those things. So that built in tension where you see those lights going off and then you see a shadow at the door, and, you know, or whatnot, you know, going through that. But no, great scene. I love that one as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah. The setup with the lights, you know, especially even when they were in the car, you know, earlier in the film, and you know,
yeah.
she's almost getting hit by the car and all this stuff, and it's just like, yo, I love what they did with that, and we don't see a lot of that, you know, we don't see a lot of that representation, you know, so it's nice to see.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Is there any others that I'm going to get to a couple of them that I'm going to throw out there, but I don't want to steal anything. If there's any others that you want to throw out that, you know, going through the movie that jumped out at you. And if not, that's fine too. But I got
Yeah,
a couple, I got three I got to talk about before we
well, yeah, we can talk about yours. We can talk about
Yeah.
yours.
All right. So the first one, so there's the brother that comes into play and he's trying to find his sister. And, you know, we know that she's kind of the first victim, but, anyway, not going into it too much, but they get to that, scene kind of in the alleyway where we'll say the villain, he traps, you know, the deaf lady, the girl in the corner, and he's going to kill her. And that brother comes up of the other victim and he kind of throws out that whole, hey, your sister's not dead yet. You have a choice here. And he's holding a knife to his neck. He goes, I'll do it. I'll kill myself right now. And you know, your sister will die. She's dying right now. If I kill myself, she's dead. So you have a choice. I'll give you the address, exactly where she's at. You can go save her, or you can have this lady right here. You know, what's your choice? And she can't hear the whole conversation, but she starts coming into finding out. She's coming around. She starts reading the lips. Okay. So that one hit me pretty hard where he's stuck with, he's telling me, do I trust him or not? He's saying, I can save my sister, my only family, because I think their parents were gone, you know, and he's very protective of her. Or I can save this stranger, but I know she's in dire, you know, like she's going to die if I don't do something with it. So I don't know, that scene hit me pretty good. I don't know if you thought anything with that or not, or.
I mean, it definitely was one of the most memorable scenes because it gave like a sort of Joker-esque, you know, aspect to his character. Because it's like, you know, I'll do it even if, you know, you like being in the brother's mindset, like you don't know if this guy's lying or not, but
Right.
this is my sister, you know, and I love the fact that the brother was willing to do anything, you know, for his sister.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Did the girl did the girl know where the sister was?
I don't think at that point she did.
No.
Because I think it
Okay.
was later she, when she escaped from that, I think is
Yeah.
when she found her breaking out of the van, and then they
Yeah.
met up. So I think at that point she didn't know where she was at, or even if she was alive for that matter. But
Okay. He was definitely given the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because even throughout this film, he just prefers to, yeah, just like you said, cat and mouse. A lot of cats like to play with their mouses. They like to terrify the mouses and kind of they play with their food before they eat them.
it's just like when we're in the house, that scene you were talking about that really stood out for you. Like when she's coming in there, he could have killed her right off the bat
Mhm.
without her even knowing, but he doesn't want that. I mean, he's pretty twisted with it where he wants to have his little fun before he does it. He wants them to know that he's like getting this over on them. You know, it's like that he's smarter than them or tougher than them or stronger, whatever. He has power over them.
It's like he needs to see their eyes, like
Right.
the fear, and he needs to feel like this is the face of you being defeated by me.
Right. Yeah.
I have to see it, and then bam, like it's not as fun for him if you're just do. You don't even know he's in the house, and he got this whole killer item, and he's about to strike you, and you about to, I don't know, have a drink and a cigarette or something.
Yep.
It's not enough. It's not enough. He just like the lady at the beginning where he was just like, "Help me!" And when she realized it was just like her eyes widened, that's when he struck her.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, he definitely was living for that. But I don't know. I was sitting at that scene and I'm like, I mean, how could in the world you make that choice? You know, or you know, probably know what your choice would be, but it just would be so heart wrenching because you're looking at a person right there and you know what's going to happen. But then you also don't know if you can trust this, you know, this psychopath too. But then it's like, well, if you don't trust them and he's telling the truth, you know, that was the whole, I think that's what you're saying, like Joker-esque, like the whole Joker thing, like love playing with you, like throwing out, like maybe there's a little truth in there, but there's a little lie in there too. And you got to figure out which is which.
Exactly.
So
playing with your mind.
I feel like he could have took him though. Like, I'm sorry, like that dude in the van, he's a skinny, slender little thing. Like, and the brother is kind of, he's not, you know, built, but he got something going on to be security. Like, I feel like you could have had both. You didn't have to choose. He just made you think that you had to choose.
Yeah. And he played into it, and then so
I was like, oh, my heart broke too. I was like, no, why?
Yeah. So I think later on, then, not to jump forward too much, but I felt that was a great turn, where the girl that he left basically at that point to go try to save his sister, he finds out, you know, the villain's lying to him. She had kind of a similar choice come up with her, so she escapes that situation. She finds the sister breaking out of the van. She was just like basically down the road. She knows that the villain's like right on her tail. He's on the way. And this girl can't run that she finds. She's hurt really badly. And she had that choice of like, do I just run and save myself? Or there's the sister right there.
Deep.
And that's where I think it starts turning the tables of who you think is strong in these situations might not be the ones that's really strong. And then she kind of showed, I don't know, a lot more character there where she could have been home free, but she was like, this is somebody that's hurt and needs help. And no matter what happened to her in that previous situation, she's like, I'm going to help her. I'm not going to just leave her by there. So that was like another scene that just kind of jumped out at me a bit.
It was great. That's what makes her a hero. Like,
yeah. I love movies that you think you know who's going to be the knight in shining armor, and it doesn't always turn out to be that person. They have their little flaws, their kinks in the armor, so to speak. And somebody that you might think is the weak victim finds the strength to stand up, and they end up being the heroes, you know, out of the situation. I love those twists in the story. So it's not just like, you could have easily been like, oh, I'm guessing how this is going to turn out, you know? And it went differently than I thought anyway, when I was watching it. But I love that. I love that. So you want me to keep on going with, I have like 2 more scenes, but I can let you talk too. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Oh no, we're enjoying it. We're enjoying it.
We are.
Okay. I guess I just get, like I said, you'll never hurt my feelings if you're just like, Corey, shut the mouth a little bit.
No.
So when she turns the table on him, and like I said, I have the spoilers on here, this little spoiler alert thing going here, but at the end, where, oh man, yeah. So I also thought it was pretty tense too, where they all end up kind of in the same area, and the brothers there, they have a big face off with the villain, and he's trying to save, you know, this lady, and he figures out the mom is around close, and he just runs from them. He's like, well, I told you one of you are going to die tonight. I don't care which one, somebody's going to die. And he just takes off. And the brother that you think could easily handle him, he's injured at that point and can't run. And so the lady, the younger lady, like runs out and trying to find her. And she has the knife at the time, with that. And there's that whole showdown where he finds the mother, and I don't know. I think you know what I'm going to lead up to, but it played out way differently than I thought. Even watching it at first, I was like, oh, but it was so good how that turned out, where he's like, I got you, you know, no matter what you do, I'm 2 steps ahead of you. There's no way you can outsmart me with this. And she goes running at him. She's just like, she's going to save her mom. She has the knife in her hand. and you see them kind of hit each other, and there's like facial expressions, and I'm like, okay, she tried to stab him to kill him, and he's like, oh, you're so silly, you know, I told you, like, did you even know how to use this? And all you did was hurt your hand, like you did it wrong. And then you look down, and she, like, in a crowded place, this is crowded downtown, she purposely had the knife turned around and to stab her in the stomach. And everybody sees that, and she goes down, and I'm like, but I was like, when you start seeing his facial expressions then, where he's just like, oh no, she didn't do this on accident. And she just set up this scene where everybody sees.
Yeah.
Well, I love that part.
It was genius. And that's like the Joker aspect, you know, of his characters, because he's sitting back, he's like, you ass. Like, you really outsmarted me. Like it was I think that was the part that hurt him the most in the entire film, is that, you know, his arrogance was deflated in that moment, you know, like he couldn't run from it, and everybody saw him for who exactly he was. Like throughout the whole movie, he's like, oh, I can throw in this costume, I could throw in this suit, you know, I could carry this briefcase and, you know, play in your face. But, you know, when that scene happened, it was like, oh, they got me. It's like you couldn't run away from it. You know, he had to implode. You were watching a man implode.
That was his worst nightmare. With everything throughout the film, him living in his van, and exactly his suit. So whatever he had to wear, his disguises, he's not doing all of this for nothing. He wants to be under the radar. He does not want to be exposed. He don't want people to recognize him or see him for who he really is. And she did it in front of everybody. There is nowhere you could run. Like that's how you dismantle a psychopath. Oh, yeah. They do not want to be exposed. They don't want for people to find out, like, oh, you did this and this is who you are. He couldn't hide at that point.
Well, yeah, and to have somebody that he was like playing with the whole time, it's like, you're my victim, I'm smarter, stronger, there's no way you could ever stand up to me. And he has that moment where the light bulb goes off, and it was like, she just got me, you know, she planned this out. And you see him just break down, where he's just like, how do I lie about this? How can I say, you know, how can I turn this that she was, and then everybody is like, no, I know. And then he like he turns, and the whole crowd's just like, you know, backing up, like, oh, he's got a knife. And no, I absolutely love that, because I figured she was just running, trying to stab him. And then I was like, oh, she didn't get him good enough, you know, kind of a thing. But then I had that moment where, like, oh no, she turned it around and was like, and she told her mom, she signed to her, you know, like, stay, don't come, you know, I'll take care of this, kind of a thing. And no, I don't know. I thought that was a good twist. It honestly surprised me. There's some times where you kind of guess where things are going, and what I guessed was going to happen right there was different than what happened. So it was a pleasant surprise. I enjoyed that. So I loved seeing him, because he was go to the sniveling, you know, like, oh, I'm the victim kind of a thing. I'd love seeing those characters finally get their due and then have them kind of crumble, and like, you just see them self-destruct, you know, in front of you. But
yeah, he couldn't go anywhere at that point. You know, cops were on him. You know? Yep.
So I'd say that, and then, okay, I've one last scene, but before I jump, and it's way at the end of the movie, is there anything else that you want to hit on this before I just like go to the end scene of that you liked, you didn't like, anything you wish would have been changed with the movie, or just, man, it played out well?
It was grand. Like, and you know, I'm a stickler. Like, I like to, you know, criticize, especially performances or the way lines are delivered. Like, I'm the person to be like, who wrote that? But just even from the camera work alone, just how they shot this. And I don't know if anyone out there who get migraines, but this movie is migraine friendly, because it's shot in the dark. And so so you're able, if you experience like light sensitivity when you have migraines, I was able to watch this movie, and
Oh,
be
yeah.
fine. So I love how they shot this, the camera work. I love the camera work during the fight scenes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I also love the camera work when they were running. Like I felt like I was running with them without being tired, of course, but like it was just great. Like I just love the performances. I love the lines. There's nothing, it's not a perfect movie, but I don't have anything bad to say about it.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be perfect to have fun with it. And, you know, to be like,
Yeah.
enjoy it and have fun with it. Like you can understand, and be like, okay, it's not perfect, but man, that was fun.
Epic.
Like
Yeah.
that was a good story. It was action. And I can see what you're saying about like the filming with running. Cause I think we were talking about earlier, is like, there's a lot of cardio in this movie. There was a lot of running through that. But they did it in a way, like you said, you weren't tired, but it was like, I don't know how to say it, but like, it got you like, I don't know if it's excited or like, you know, like you're heightened a little bit. You're like, okay, there's action going on. There's this chase scene. You don't know what's going to happen with them. And I agree. I thought they did that in a really good way. And that made me think of something else though. Sorry, not to like, I go on tangents. So sound design or music with it.
Yes.
I liked the switches when they would go into the mother or the daughter that were deaf, and it would muffle the sound. So you were kind of getting a sense of like, we're experiencing them. And they do some stuff with the music a couple times. Like, so in the house too, I think they did it a lot when he was coming in with the axe, where the music was almost like a heartbeat sound,
Yes.
like an intense, like heartbeat sound. And it was muffled, but it would, I don't know, that played well where they would switch back and forth where you're like, you're going into that character. Like they can't hear what's going on at that time, but you could tell they're worried, they're strained, whatever. And, there was just kind of like a beat that would go, it was just kind of like a muffled heartbeat that would go with it. And, I don't know, that was what, as soon as you said that, I was like, I don't know why I went to that, but, I really enjoyed, I thought that brought a lot to it. It added to the suspense with it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely, I love the sound effects. You know, I loved the choices that the killer had to go through, you know, when choosing his victims. Like there's at one point, he's like, all right, I found a victim. Then he sees somebody else walking by and he's like, actually, I've got some choices now. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right.
You know, so
I mean, it was interesting because that choice he made, it made this domino effect because of that choice he made. Like he could have attacked that woman. He didn't know that she was deaf.
Right.
You know, but he decided to attack the girl because she's in her phone. And a lot of those type of men, they are going to go for he didn't go for her because she's younger. He went for her because she was more distracted. Meanwhile, the woman, like, she could have screamed, she could have made noise, she could have done something. But this girl was just walking by on her phone, not paying attention. So he made a decision that essentially got him killed in the end.
yeah,
Absolutely. So, well, and I'll hurry up here. I know we're kind of hitting on time. Are we?
Did he?
Oh, you say what?
He didn't die, did he?
No,
What got him caught in it? Right?
like, didn't he get shot?
Did he die? I'm sorry.
Or no. Which one are you talking about?
No, the killer.
The killer. Did he die or did he get caught?
No, he
died.
died.
Okay,
He died.
yeah, it got him killed.
Yeah, no, that was like, it was the final showdown where the cops were like, put the knife down, and he was like, kind of finally like, I can't get out of this. And he was like rushing the girl to like stab her. Yeah, he got some holes put in him a couple times with it. There was a couple shots. Yeah, no,
I was surprised at how many people made it to the end.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You never know with a lot of these movies, but I'll throw out there, and I want to be. Are we still doing okay? I want to be respectful of your time too.
We're still doing okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just don't want to. You won't, like I said before we came on here, you'll never hurt my feelings. I want to be respectful of your time, and I know I don't want to keep you too long on this, but the last scene I'll kind of throw out there is the very end, where the mother and the daughter finally get to take this vacation they were talking about before the whole thing happened. But then like later after that, the brother and his sister that were part of this whole equation come up to meet them at that. The first thing, I don't know why, came into my head was, so how would you feel, that daughter that is the deaf woman, how would you feel having a vacation now with this guy that turned his back on you to go save his sister? And you might be able to say like, yeah, I would probably have done that to save my mom too, but you knew you were leaving me to die at this point. I don't know why it went through my head, but I was like, maybe be thankful, but I was like, I don't know if I'd have a vacation with him, at that point.
I mean, I think at one angle looking at it, it's like, damn, but on the other hand, it's like, it's just sister, so it's like, you kind of do understand like certain, when it comes to like, all right, who do I choose or whatever, like it's your sister or it's your, significant other. Sometimes you just know like what the other person is going to choose and you understand.
Yeah, it was very, I mean, you got to have compassion for people. At the same time, I would have been like, you are paying for this vacation. You owe me. You owe me big time.
Dinner's on you tonight. We're going out and eating well.
Yeah,
exactly. No, and I think that just kind of played into her whole character though. But after I started thinking about it, I'm like, okay, also for the same reason why she didn't just run and she stayed and helped the sister, earlier on. It's just who she is. She's just that type of person. But I don't know why it went through my head where I was just like, I just don't know if I'd be on vacation with him at that point. I'd be like, we're good, but we don't need to have a vacation together. But
no, we friends for life.
Yeah, exactly. So no, overall, I would say it was a great movie. And this is the whole reason I like doing this, where I had never heard of this movie, never came across it. But now I got to watch a movie that I had a lot of fun with and enjoyed, and was able to talk with both of you about that. So this is where it's a cool thing to be able to do this. So
yes.
So have you gone into a lot of international thriller and horror movies, or is this kind of a newer thing for you?
You know what? I was never like too big onto it. Like I had the boundary or the border of like reading the subtitles and just getting too distracted. But once I got over that and I grew up, and I became a man, I was like, I fell down a rabbit hole, and this was one of those films that I fell down a rabbit hole with. I love the main character, the killer, and he was actually in another one of our favorites, Gunjam.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
I have that one. I have not watched it yet.
Oh,
I have it on my shelf, and I have not watched it yet. I know.
I saw it on Shudder, and
so
then
I need to add that.
I instantly bought it on Blu-ray afterwards, like after the viewing, like just like you did with Midnight. I instantly bought it. Like it's Gunjam.
It's one of those, Corey. You have to see it.
Okay, I'm writing that right underneath the blackening that I have to move those up on. I got to move those up on. But that's why I love talking about these things, where it's like, so you hear about so many movies from other people or like online, and you get this long list, and it's going to take forever to get through all of them. But I love having conversations like this where it helps prioritize some of those, where you're just like, okay, I want to hit that one sooner. And all right. And that one, I hate when that happens though, where I have it sitting on a shelf back there and I haven't watched it yet, it just kind of happens sometimes. But
listen,
I know it's sad.
some in the era of like physical media and streams and all these different streaming services, sometimes you need the people, the community, to just let you know, hey, bump that up. A couple of days ago, In Love with Horror, actually, we had them on, talking about found footage, and they had brought up Willow Creek, and I had bumped it up on my list and had an amazing time, had a fun time, so it's.
I was gonna say that's one of the live streams I was checking out. So sometimes I jump in, I'll chat, and then sometimes I'm driving or doing other things, and I'll like have it on listening, so I can't always like join in the chat. But I was listening to that, and I'll say, so anybody that has subbed up to you and want to check something out, that live stream on the found footage was really cool. There's a lot of great movies that were thrown out on that. So that'd be a good one to go check out. And
Yes.
yeah, I'll move that up on my list. But yeah, it's one of those, you can watch one of those streams and be like, okay, I got 12 more movies I need to watch now, you know? So
Exactly.
but no, I've enjoyed doing this. And I'll say I was the same way too, where I was like, not giving a chance to a lot of subtitled movies. I was watching some of them dubbed, but I don't know if you ever remember. I remember the movie where I started it English dubs and I was like, no, it's just off, you know? And I stopped it. I restarted it with the subtitles and watched it. And that was, for me, it was Train to Busan was the one. So I didn't make it like more than 20 minutes into it. And I'm like, something's off, you know, like I don't know these people, but that just does not sound like their voice, you know, or something, or the emotion is off from what's going on. And, I think that was the first one I was like, nope. And I stopped it, restarted it, and I haven't gone back since. And now it's just like, that doesn't bother me. And I'm so glad because there's so many great movies that you can watch that are non-English movies. And just as long as you can, I'll have to say though, I'll admit, I'm not afraid to say I'm a little bit of a slow reader. So there's sometimes I got to bump it back just a little bit and be like, oh, I missed something in the conversation and I got to watch it a little bit again. But to me, it makes it, I don't know, it makes it so much better. The inflections in the voice, the emotion, it's just, it seems more real to me. Because it is.
Yeah, it definitely seems more authentic and true to the characters. I was introduced to subtitles. Like if you're an anime fan, back in high school, my friends introduced me to an anime called Bleach.
Oh, okay.
And so it started from there, and then if what? There's an anime movie also called Perfect Blue. That's like a staple. That's a staple in the anime community. So you get used to the subtitles. I still rewind like, oh, I missed something. I don't know what they said. I still do that. And I just finished a TV show called Vincenzo. It's a Korean thriller / comedy. It's on Netflix. I just finished that one. But yeah, you get used to it, and then you will find like it's kind of hard to kind of go back to dubbed or American content. Like it's hard to do that when there's so much great content overseas, and there's so many great stories from different storytellers, and you get to be inspired by the camera work and whatever their education was. Like you get to watch that and absorb that. Along with the performances, even if you don't understand what they're saying, it's so great, and it's just hard to go back to dubbed.
I'll agree with you completely. Once you get over that, whatever, I had that little hurdle. Once I got over it, it's like never going back. I completely agree. I've not gone into anime a whole lot, except I've seen some older things. So like Ghost in the Shell, like the original anime. And then not too long ago, a buddy of mine, he sent me a thing and he was like, hey, the complete series is on sale. It's a great price. You should buy it. Just watch it. And I haven't gotten into it yet, but it was Cowboy Bebop.
Oh.
So I know those are probably older ones, and like you could be like, oh, those are, but
they are staples too.
But I was like, okay, I've heard of it before, but I haven't, dove into it yet. So those are some things I got back there I got to get to. So I got the long list of the watch list going. But well, no, cool. So outside of, you got horror movies, you got anime. Are there any other go-to genres that you love going to, or is that that's kind of those are your things?
Rom-com.
I was gonna say that. Rom-coms. For sure.
Do you just kind of like cough and kind of like rom-coms? Like, don't admit it, or something? I love them. I like.
Oh no! I will throw on The Wedding Singer in a minute.
We love The Wedding Singer. Yeah.
I've seen that so many times, but I actually bought it for the first time, so I have that now. So And I can't remember all the movies that are in it, but it was actually like a really cheap, like triple pack. So it was like a Drew Barrymore triple pack. So it had like,
Oh,
Wedding Singer. It had,
51st Dates, maybe?
no, I just bought that one though, actually too.
Oh,
Uh, but it was like music and lyrics or something.
hmm.
I'll have to look at it. I'll misremember it, but it was like three movies with her. But I actually just bought 51st Dates as well, and so that's one of those movies. Do you ever have those where somebody's like, I cannot believe you have not seen this movie before, and what have you been doing? And that was one of them. So I was like, I found it cheap, and I was like, okay, I'm going to buy that, and I got to get it out of the way so I can't get shamed that I haven't seen it yet. So, and I know I would like it. It's just there's like so many movies, and so do you have any like hidden gems or like favorites of rom-coms that you would be like, I've got some other recommendations I wrote down here. Do you have any? So I already said I bought 51st Dates. I got that there, and I have Wedding Singer, and I have seen that before, but do you have any favorites that you go back to or not really?
I, so on physical copy, I have a movie. It's one of my favorites ever. When they play it on TV, I stop and watch it, even though I have a physical copy. I don't know why I do that, but it's Complicated with
Okay.
Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Oh, I love that movie. I love it. So it's one of my favorite rom-coms. I saw that for the first time years ago, and I was blown away. I don't know why, but it's a charming movie. It was funny, and it was, I don't know. I love the aesthetic, and it was very, I don't know. Steve Martin. I love Steve Martin, by the way. Basically, anything he's in, if it's a rom com and Steve Martin's in it, I'm gonna go see it.
I have not seen that one, so I wrote it down. I'll have to look at that, but
Yes, it's complicated.
I'm going to throw in My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh, okay.
okay.
I have seen that one before, but it's been a long time. I should write it down. It's great to go back and revisit some if you haven't seen them for a long time, but okay, My Best Friend's Wedding. Oh, awesome. I love doing this and like writing down stuff. One, I had a couple friends that were doing a stream the other night, and they were throwing out, they were doing recommendations of 10 movies. So it was my friend Bob, Bob's Blu-rays, and then Allie, they were out there. And so she was giving some recommendations to him. And one that got talked about was, oh gosh, and now I'm going to mess the name up, but I think it's Mr. Right. With Sam Rockwell and if I'm thinking of the right one, yeah, Mr. Right with Anna Kendrick and Sam Rockwell, where he's kind of like a hitman, but it's still a rom-com as well.
Yeah, I think I've seen the advertisement for it. Yeah.
I can watch that.
So I was going to go back and watch that one. I didn't know if you'd come across that before, but they both, I don't know. I usually enjoy some of the stuff that they're in, so I'll have to go check that out. But
Yeah, but when you said Mr. Right, I do have to see that one. I didn't see that one. But I instantly thought of Mr. Wrong with Ellen DeGeneres.
oh, that one's weird one. I'm not making fun of you if you like it. I shouldn't like say that right up. You'd be like, that's my favorite movie. Thanks, Corey.
Oh no, it's not. My mom actually loves that movie. She finds people in like those situations funny. Like that's funny to her. Like if you're trying to explain, no, this guy is crazy, and everyone is like, you're getting married. She's like, no, he's crazy, and she loves that. So that's one of her favorite movies ever.
When I say it's weird, is because that guy was so like psycho, like he was like way over the top. It's like, so that's what I mean by it's weird. Like, not that it's a bad movie. I should have prefaced that, but not that it's a bad movie. But I just remember watching it like, oh my gosh, that guy is off his rocker. Like
It was, and
crazy.
It was weird, and he just kept getting worse, and no one believed her. Like, and she was in a whole wedding dress, and people still didn't believe what she was saying. It was insane.
Oh man, I haven't seen that in a long. I think I actually saw that in the theater too, and I remember walking out and I was like, that guy is like messed up. Oh, okay, now see, I'm like, it's weird when you start remembering things. There was like a point where I think was it that movie? I think he was like, I love you so much I'll break my finger or something, like he did something weird like that, and she's like, no, and he just like snap, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, the guy, that's when you know you should run, kind of a thing. I don't know why that came to my mind, but I just remember him doing something with, and she's just like, no.
Because it was one of those scenes where like you're like, what am I watching? It just
Yeah,
kept,
exactly.
and then you had a whole ex-wife chasing you with a shotgun with her boyfriend, and it was what was her name? She was played by Debbie, not by Debbie. She was Debbie in Adam's Family Values.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Start with a J. Jones. I forgot, but she
I'm
played Debbie.
blanking.
Yeah, she and her brother is an actor too. What is their names? Someone in the comment section. Debbie from Adam's Family Values. She was in there chasing them around.
I haven't I was gonna say you were just talking about the chat. I haven't looked at that in a while, so sorry everybody that's out there, but I neglect that once in a while when I get like going off on here. But I can always run through that a little bit, but only if it's good with you. Like I said, I know we're kind of hitting our time, or we can start wrapping her up. You let me know. No hard feelings either way. I want to make sure it works for your timetable.
No problem. Cusack. Holland came through.
Okay.
Joan Cusack. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'll just hit a few of these and I won't take you too much longer, I promise. But I'm having too much fun. That's where I get talking too much. So that's where I know I was going to go too long. But Jane Doe was saying Animal Crossing is the longest played game on her Switch. Love it.
Yes.
So I don't know if you ever come across that game at all. You were talking about playing.
Yeah, I haven't played Animal Crossing. My current obsession is I'm overhooked or overcooked. I played Overcooked 1 and 2.
So that was a fun one to play with a family though too, where you could get multiple people going. And yeah, I remember playing that on the Switch with before. Now we've had kids moving out of the house and everything, but it was kind of fun when we'd have them sitting around and they'd still play a game. They'd humor mom and dad once in a while and play a game with us. So it was always kind of fun, but that was like a fun one. You could get a lot of people involved and it wasn't like, that's an easy one to get people, I think, into games as well, where it's not that it's easy game, but the concept, you can understand what you need to do. And it's not like overly complicated. I mean, it might be hard to do all the levels, but there's not like, oh, you got to press up and right. And then you got to upgrade your level of your armor. And you got to, it was like, you got to get this plate here and that person can clean it. And that's a good one to do.
This tomato, put the onion in there.
Yeah. We had fun with that one for sure. Mika was saying, can't wait to see Abigail. So hopefully Friday afternoon so I was getting made fun of. I'm taking Friday afternoon off from work so I can go watch a movie and just relax and hang out and not be rushed and then not be out super late. I'm old now, I guess. I got to, and then I can get it a little cheaper too because it's not the prime time pricing for the theater.
Exactly. That's what it's about. Catching that matinee.
So I'll be doing that. Hopefully as things play out the way they're supposed to Friday afternoon. But Paul Draws was saying I haven't watched Monkey King. I meant Monkey Man, but I still need to watch it. But I need to. I think it looks good. I would like to see that. I don't know if I'll be able to get out to the theater in time to watch that with a couple others I want to see. But anymore, you don't have to wait a whole long time after the theater to be able to see it either on streaming or to buy a physical copy of it. So but yeah, absolutely. Paul, I'll be wanting to see that one too. So, all right, I'll rush through some of these because like I said, I want to be good with your time. But Paul Draw was saying, does Civil War have some big robots like Transformers? No, none of that. It's very grounded. It's very grounded and very realistic. It's very realistic. I think that's what made it. Somebody was asking me how I liked it. And I think a lot of times I've started describing it as tense and depressing, but I liked it. I mean, you can have a depressing movie and it was like, oh, that's a good movie. But to me, those were the words that came to my mind was tense and depressing. So I know I'm not probably selling it with those two words, but but you know what I'm saying? Like you could have a movie that you're like depressed after it, but you're like, man, that was powerful or that was a good story. And
most definitely.
Let's see here. Dell was saying, I would absolutely love being the only person in a theater for any type of movie.
Yes.
I still can't get over my daughter's face though when I came home and she was like, "Oh, you were the only person, like there was only a few of you." And I'm like, "No, like I was the only person sitting." She was for a horror movie, and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "No, nope." I would have been, I would have been out of that place. But like you said, I didn't have anybody bothering me. I just hung out, but it was a little different. It was fun though. I had a good time with it. All right, we're going through here quick. Kira was saying eager to see Civil War and Abigail. Yep.
Yes.
Could you see going out to theater for either of those? And it's okay if you aren't, but is that going to be a wait till it comes out for home?
Possibility. Like they have Tuesday night, the little deals, Tuesday, the $5, $6 deals on Tuesday nights, so I might check it out.
That's why I wanted to go see Civil War last night. They had it was like our half price, at least our theater is the half price night on Tuesdays. So it makes a difference. I mean,
it does. I went and got my popcorn, my drink, movie, all for $16.
Yeah. Yeah. And like this one, I was saying, like the one I went into was it charges you more because it's supposed to have a better surround sound system and a little better screen.
Yeah.
And, it was like $8 instead of like 15 or 14 or something for that movie, on that night. So no, I'll take that anytime. Anthony was saying Late Night with the Devil is still my favorite film of the year.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel bad. Like I don't want to hype movies up too much for people, like to build it up too much. And then you have a little letdown, but, that was a good one. Just like I said, go into it knowing that it's a lower budget horror movie, but they stretched the dollar on that. I think they did a good job with it.
Oh,
I thought. Chris was saying he needs to see that. Mika was saying, Kira, we have to do a double feature this weekend, throw in Arcadian as well. Well, that's triple then. You're going to have Arcadian, Civil War, and Abigail. There you go.
Yes.
I think I hear a video coming out. I want to see a Mika and Kira video of their triple feature weekend. Give me a rundown. Let me know if they're all good or not. Or if I liked it, why I was wrong. So just kidding. Russell was saying, Chris tiptoe through the tulip song is creepy while he sharpens his nails. Yes. I don't know. Okay. See, that's the thing. I kind of get off track on some of these comments and then I'm like, Paul Drowse was saying I would go watch Abigail, Monkey Man, Spider-Man 2 and 3, and Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Wow, that's a ton of money. I don't know if every theater is doing this, but ours was doing, and I saw somebody else post something on this where they were doing every Monday night, they're running through all the Spider-Mans, and you could pay like one price, and it ended up being like $5 a movie or something. I mean, it was like, or whatever. Do you have something like, did you hear something like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was the anniversary of Spider-Man, so they were doing it.
Okay, that's what it was going on. I'm always late to the know on some of these things, but I'm like, but it's a cool idea though. But I was like, I can't make it to all of them, but it'd be cool if you could. Mika was saying, Anthony, haven't seen yet, but can't wait to see it on Shudder. Yeah, if you have Shudder, it'll be out there really soon. Still need to see a Late Night to the Devil. See, now we're building it up too much for you. You're gonna like see it and be like, what were they talking about? I don't even know, but haven't seen Midnight. It's worth a watch. And there's some free things. Like we were saying, it was like Tubi, I believe, was on.
Yeah.
But if you have Peacock, Prime. So
you got one of them.
You gotta. I think most people have one of those services. Well, Tubi, anybody can have it. It's free, and if you don't. And actually Tubi is not too bad with the commercials, I don't think, on theirs. I've watched a few on there and they have some good selections on it. But Johnny's saying I'm planning on checking it out next week when it comes out at Shudder. Yep. So I don't want to like jump over too many, but I know we want to try wrapping up here. I know I went over our time we originally talked about. So I apologize, but I appreciate you hanging in there with me. I appreciate it so much. But we'll just go through here, see if there's a lot of just going back and forth saying hi, whether it's seeing the movies. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything really big here. So So anybody, if I skip over your chat, I apologize. There's only so many hours in the day and we're always trying to fit things in here, so I think, I got to say, see, this is why I was scrolling. We got Trini in here. Culture Trini. What up, people?
Hey.
Trini.
Good to see you, Trini. Thank you, sir. That's why I scroll through here. I got to see people like him jump in here quick, but all right. So we're through this. I know I went overtime. I apologize.
It happens.
It's okay.
I'm a talker and it's hard to get me stopped. So I'm going to say right off the bat, I had a blast. This was so much fun watching the movie, getting to meet you two and get to know you better and see this movie. I think you're both awesome. I love jumping into your live streams that you've been having. And like I said, to anybody else, if you're not following them, go out, check their channel out, YouTube, Instagram, watch them. But my big challenge, everybody, I know I'm a broken record. Throw a follow, subscribe on them, but check out one of their videos and throw a comment out there for them. That would be, I know we only have so many hours in the day, but it'll be worth it. And I think you'll be hooked and you'll be coming back to their channel again and checking out their live stream. So like I said, I had a fun time with that, with the found footage live stream that you had. I think that was awesome. If people want to get some good recommendations, that's a great one to start with. So, again, please go check them out. It's fun seeing channels out here that we can, get a little light on that we don't run into every day. Just like my channel, it's like, there's a lot of my people that get following me that they only know me because, somebody else said something about me. So I love kind of doing the same thing for everybody. So, before we go, I'll let you just throw out there. Is there anything coming up that you have on the horizon? Any live streams, any other things you're doing that you want to throw out there to let people know about?
Oh yeah, we got a discussion coming up, Saturday night. Saturday night we got a 420 discussion coming up. To throw out some movies out there, some more recommendations, for the festivities. Also, next week got an interview coming up, with another director. Some awesome discussions coming up with me and this beautiful young lady over here, and it's just gonna be more talking with the horror community, more just getting our faces out there and more mingling, and just shedding light to some people that we really believe in and that we think deserve to have some light be shed on them and to be celebrated, So.
And we have a discussion tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, actually, yeah, tomorrow we are going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to be live though, but we're going to be talking to Nightmare on Fear Street about the Chucky, the new Chucky season. We're going to be
nice,
which premieres. The new episode premieres tonight, so we're going to be talking about it with Sheree and Trent, from the Nightmare on Fear Street podcast.
Shout out to Nightmare on Fear Street. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Yes.
I'll have to go check that out. So it's on their channel?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I'm writing down my notes again here. I'll have to go check that out too. So, but no, that's awesome. So gives people even more reasons to go out, hit the subscribe, hit the bell on your thing so they can get all those notifications. Those things are popping out there. So we got a couple of people just saying good night and good show here. So thank you so much. Everybody that joined in here tonight, we love you. We love the support. This is why we do it. The community and getting to talk to people and get the feedback. And you guys are awesome to do this. Or if you're watching it on a replay, it's great to do that. So anyway, if you don't mind hanging on for just a moment, we're going to go ahead and close this out. But I'll just say thank you everybody that joined in or coming on replay. And Evol and Lady Evol, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you all later here. Okay.